You may be seated. We'll call the members, please.
Mr. Jeter, District 1.
Here.
Mr. Tipton, District 2.
Here.
Mr. Herron, District 3. Mr. Bricky, District 4.
Here.
Mr. Mann, District 5.
Here.
Ms. Hood, District 6. Here. Ms. Addington at large. Here.
We do have a quorum. Thank you, ma'am. With that, the next item is to approve the agenda as presented to you. Do we have anything to change on the agenda to amend?
I don't have any changes.
Okay. All right. With that, we need approval of the agenda. Do we have a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Tipton made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Jeter, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next item is to approve the minutes from our June 28th meeting, our budget approval meeting that day, then September the 6th. Was everybody here on both meetings? If so, we'll entertain a motion to approve both of those sets of minutes. Do we have a motion?
So moved, sir.
Mr. Jeter made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Hood, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next item is citizen expression period, and I'll read this little short statement. We'll get right into that. This is the rules for citizen expression. Citizen expression period is upon the meeting when anyone who wishes to address the board or staff may do so. If you wish to speak, please come to the podium and state your name, where you're from in the county, and or what organization you represent. The board may or may not respond to anything you say, but we will take everything you say into account when making future decisions. Please keep your comments concise and business-like. If no one has signed up, and we do have a couple of people that have signed up, we have no particular order. We just ask that you take turns and speak your business. Any action will be considered after we close citizen expression. And we have a couple of people. First, then Mr. Chris Manus, if you would, please. Morning.
Morning. How are y'all doing?
Doing good.
Good. Good. Morning, ladies and gentlemen of the Scott County Board of Supervisors. I'm Chris Manus. I'm running for Board of Supervisors for Ms. Selma's district, District 6. But I'm not here to talk politics with you today. I'm here to talk to you about a Veterans Dinner that's being held on November the 11th down at Duffield Primary School. The Veterans Dinner is going to be a heartfelt tribute to the brave men and women who have selflessly served our nation. It's a time for us to express our deep gratitude and show our unwavering support for these heroes who have sacrificed so much for our freedom. It's open to any veterans in the area, and they can bring a guest along. They'll be served a good meal and be told how much that we really appreciate them and their service. The community has come together in an extraordinary way to support this. Local community organizations like the Fairview Community Center and different churches in the area have come together to provide all of the necessary manpower and food and resources like that. And Duffield Primary School has graciously agreed to host the dinner. However, there's one final hurdle that they need to get over, is they need to purchase insurance for the event in the amount of $250. I think that's a relatively small amount when we consider what these people have sacrificed for us and how much gratitude we want to show them. I think it's incredible the way the community has rallied together, and I figured the Board of Supervisors may want to help further this event by providing the $250 needed for the insurance. I have some papers here I can pass out with the insurance quote and the place where you need to send the money. But yeah, thank you for your time and consideration of this, and I can pass this out for you.
That's fine. You might.
If you want, just take one and pass it down. Appreciate it. Any questions?
Any questions for Mr. Manus? All right, we'll get to it in a few minutes.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next person that signed up to speak is Presley Bledsoe. Morning.
Morning. How you all this morning?
Good. How are you?
All right. I'm Presley Bledsoe. I live down in Fairview on the lower end of 600. And I was here trying to see when we might get some county water down there. They come within a mile 3 years ago when they quit on the water. So we're just wondering, because our spring is absolutely quit during all this dry weather. I was just wondering when we might actually see some water down there. I mean, they come within a mile of us and they quit.
There'll be a PSA meeting next Tuesday. You might need to come to it. It'll be here at 9 o'clock. be the best, I would think.
Yeah. But we'll talk about it here in a second, though, but he's on the PSA, and you are too, right, Marshall?
Yes.
Both of you are on the PSA, so you're talking to some people here that can help you. But anyway, we'll talk about it more in a few minutes when you get through.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate you coming.
We really need it down there.
Well, is your spring plumb dry right now?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Where are you, Preston? Where do you live?
Down on the lower end of Fairview, down on, right near the Lee County line.
Do you know if Lee County has water lines near where you live?
Well, they've started putting them in, and they're all the way across what we call Flower Gap down there. So to come on across Flower Gap, there'll have to be a pump station put in to push it over the ridge.
Okay, because I've talked with Mr. Dishman about this situation.
I've talked to you a few
numerous
times on the
times.
phone.
But the last time he and I talked, he suggested that Lee County might be able to do it because they would be, if they were close enough, you know, to where they're only about 3 houses, I think.
Yes, there's 3 houses down through it, but there's 9 different properties. You know, there's 9 different property owners down through there.
And they all are interested in getting water?
Yes,
on
my
their-
neighbor out the road actually had a well, and his well fell in back last year or something. So he's got a half well now. So he has 2 pumps in one well. There is only 3 houses down in there that people live in, you know. But they run the water down certain other valleys for 1 mile and 7/10 for maybe 1 house. And then another place, they ran it 7/10 of a mile for 2 that has weekend people. You know, I'm just wondering when we might get some, because they was within 1 mile and they quit. Same way in Beach Grove. They was within 1 mile of the county line there and they quit. So if you figure it up, if you put that mile out to bid, the contractors is gonna bid it more because it's just a short section. They're gonna have to consider the mobilization in on both of them and everything. So that's gonna make their price go up.
Okay, will y'all discuss this then at your board meeting?
Are you within 1 mile of where the water stops now?
Yes,
And then how far is it there to pick up the other 3 houses?
I'm the last one.
Oh, you're the last one?
I'm the last one, yeah.
My driveway, I can see the end of the water line, I can't get it, so.
Yeah.
If I live below the railroad, they won't come across the railroad, so there's 10 houses I think you get and they won't.
Yeah.
So I know, you know, but my well's fine, it hasn't had any problem yet, but not have water, that's tough.
I did, yeah. I mean, we buy all the drinking water and cooking water, you know. So that runs into money every month. And then time I haul water to bathe in and wash clothes in and stuff, that costs me more a week than what most county people are paying a month for their water. You know.
I'd suggest you come next Tuesday
Yeah.
at 9 o'clock to the PSA meeting. It'll be right here.
Okay.
Yeah, try to do that, and can you get your neighbors to come too? I mean,
Well, I can ask them, you know.
Well, one of the others has called me, the Beach Grove.
Okay.
On Beach Grove has
Mhm.
called about it. So I will tell her to come to that meeting too.
Yeah.
on
I mean, that just sort of
Tuesday.
makes you wonder why they'll go 1 mile and 7/10 pretty much for nothing, and they won't for 3 houses with elderly people in them.
Between you, I don't know where you live, but between where you live and where the water line ends, what's between you? Is there a ridge or anything?
Nothing.
So it wouldn't be,
Straight ahead, one little hump in the road.
oh, is that right?
Just one little hump.
Okay. Well, that makes a difference, you know, having to put a pump station in, all that stuff, it makes a
No.
difference.
There ain't no,
Yeah.
ain't nothing but one little hump in the.
Well, the Lee County thing, I don't know if that's an option or not, but see, we got water comes in Scott County, from Washington County, from Russell County, Wise County, and then we go into other places too where it's easier to get to. If it's
Yeah.
easier for them, it would make sense, you know,
Mhm.
for them to do it, so.
Well, see, they come, like I say, the Lee County came to the bottom of Flower Gap Bridge, and I'm assuming to come across it, they'll have to put a pump station in,
Right.
you know,
Okay.
to pump it on across the ridge.
Well, these guys will help you, and you come back to that meeting then and see what you can get done.
I'll see if I can.
All right, buddy.
All right,
It won't be a
thank you.
quick solution, but a quick fix, because you need water now, and it take a while to get it done.
Yeah, I know,
They get
I
the wheels
understand
rolling.
that, you know, but it's been 3 years
Yeah,
since they quit down there.
yeah. Well, all of it is when they're grant funded and they borrow money too to do these things, and they show what they're going to do. As far as they can go, is what they're allowed to go.
Yeah.
It's what they put in there. I'm assuming that's the way it works.
I haven't forgotten about you. I have, I've talked with Linda Lisco about it too,
Yeah.
but it's a different situation than we've had in some other areas, and they're not able to do it down there. And then I even talked with one of the board members of Lee County Board of Supervisors about it, and he wasn't sure. He hasn't gotten back with me, but Mr. Dishman did tell me to have people check with the Lee County Water Department.
But we'll see.
Okay.
Be sure you come back though.
I'll do my best
If you can.
if I can get off work.
Okay.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate you coming. Anyone else wishing to speak? Come on, Miss Peggy. I knew you were going. I was going to call your name up and all that. Come on, let me sign when you're at the podium.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm Peggy Tice from Snowflake Road. Like Bill said, oh, you gonna come and tell me about the road? Well, nothing's changed, but you all can only imagine how dusty it is now. I mean, and Mom, she had called for some dust control, but all she got was a ticket number. They came back there, but see, it's been dry for quite a while. And I still would like to for somebody, to find out how we could get some money, for the primary roads that don't need work, to move that money out of that pot into helping with the secondary roads. And I can't get a hold of Terry Kilgore. Is he the one that we would need to?
It is a General Assembly thing, it is, and I have beat that a lot too, trying to get, to move money out of primary road maintenance, whatever stuff that, in my opinion, need to be done, but they wouldn't, they won't even listen to it, so. But I don't know, when you see stuff being paid that don't need to be paid, spend that money somewhere, and it just falls on deaf ears, seems like.
Mm-hmm. And then I thought VDOT was supposed to be here, and I was gonna have a question for them. Well, maybe you all can answer it. Like, we're on that 6-year plan. Okay, when the problem is that you say they can't get money. Okay, we're on the 6-year plan for 2028 and 2029. Okay, like when that comes up, or like for the ones that's on that 6-year plan now, if there's no funds, now what happens? Do we drop back to the bottom of the list, or?
It's a different pot of money.
Oh, a different pot? Oh, we need to get rid of some of them pots, don't we? Well,
They don't go on the list now unless they're funded. So that money stays with that project.
Once it's funded, it won't go away.
oh,
It's not supposed to. I'll take that back. Let me take that back. Down here, the Moccasin Gap interchange was funded and it went away. So it can, I guess, go away. It's been several years ago, but the interchange was funded. And so I remember they found $4.5 million. How do you lose $4.5 million on a study project to put that road around the bottom of the other side of the gap over there? So I don't know. I guess you can, they can find it, and then, so I don't know.
well, that's been my question, finding money.
Yeah, well, they found $4.5. I know it was funny because how do you lose $4.5 million? But they had found it. And I thought this would be a good start, to get that something done with that, especially tied into the sports complex and everything, into a new road around through there. But it went away.
Okay. Well,
VDOT will be here in November.
in November. Okay.
They come quarterly.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I appreciate y'all, and appreciate all the help and any that you can do for anybody that lives on a dirt road.
I'm putting you in a ticket now
Okay.
for dust control.
Okay.
Was that
Well,
good?
That'll be good. See, Mom called last week, cause see, she lives right on the road, like maybe from here to the wall. And people come down through there, and you'd think they wouldn't go that fast on a dirt road, but it don't take much speed to be dusty.
Yeah.
And she's 92 years old,
Wow.
but thank you all.
Thank you, Kevin.
See you next month.
All right, I appreciate you coming. Anyone else wishing to speak?
Y'all don't have your guns with you this morning, do you? I hope everybody's doing good this morning.
Good.
God bless every one of you. Two things
Let's state your name if you would. Where you
Oh,
from?
Fritz Phelan.
Fritz?
Fritz, F-R-I-T-Z. Phelan, F-A-L-I-N. I live in East Carter's Valley. Good place to live. I'm up here maybe for two reasons. One, might consider the speed limit, East Carter's Valley. It's in a way, it's kind of a narrow road, especially if a tractor trailer going up and down through there. And we're getting more traffic, and a lot of it is coming from the Tennessee side. I guess the folks is going to work, you know, coming through there, getting on Stone Drive. Speed limit now is 40. And if possible, maybe ask VDOT to reduce that maybe 5 miles an hour to 35. There's a church out there and a lot of senior citizens, and that area, we're all getting a little bit older, and everybody seems to agree that they're going a little bit too fast through there. And especially of a morning time, we got a school bus there that stops in front of my house, and they've got a dip in that area right there. And a good school bus driver, I mean, great guy. And he's a little bit concerned too about it, because they've got to stop and let the child off through there. And coming up through the dip, you're right at where that bus stops at. I mean, he's doing a great job, and he's very careful and everything. And might consider it on the other end, on the Lynn Garden side, it's 25, then it goes to 40. I think it would be the best interest to the county. And the sheriff's office, they're doing a good job. And a lot of times there's no place to turn around and to confront the people that might be going a little bit too fast. But if you got one car going the speed limit and another car speeding and it's behind it, that will give the officers time to catch up to the one that's driving a little bit too fast. You know, it's a rough area over there. But like I say, it's more traffic coming through there, and the church and the senior citizens and everybody, I believe it'd be kind of a win-win situation. I think that would help the law enforcement too in that.
So just for the record, Mr. Phelan, so you go to Jackson, if you're going from here to Kingsport on Wadlow Gap, you turn right before you get to Jackson Market.
Yes, sir, right there,
And
that's
that first
intersection
dip,
coming
yeah.
back, yes,
So
sir.
about less than about a quarter mile out there is that dip you're talking about.
Yeah, it's used to be Harms Hollow Road, and a gentleman bought that out.
Okay.
That dip is what I call the duck ponds. You know, there's some ponds right there. And of the afternoon, the sun's shining right into people's face and everything. But they're right at that bus stop before.
Fritz, I know you fought this battle before, but I'm confused because I thought when they dropped it to 25 that it went farther than the state line from over at Kyle Hill. Is it 25 from Kyle Hill to the state line?
Yes, sir. Let's say you're on the Lynn Garden side, coming toward Wadlow Gap. A lot of residents in there, and it's been 25 for years there, which they don't even drive that. If you've been through there, you know how it is. It goes so far down through there at 25, and then it bumps up to 40.
At the Virginia line?
Well, you're all the way into Virginia, but Virginia's got 25, and then you come so far down, like you're coming toward Waterloo, it bumps up to 40.
So you're wanting it
35.
35
If it's,
from the 25 on to over Jack's.
if
Yeah.
VDOT sees fit for that. And the last time that it was changed, if you go straight across on up East Carter's Valley, it was 35, and for some reason VDOT done the opposite thing. They raised it to 40. It kind of needs to be a uniform traffic through there, you know. And I do think this will help law enforcement too, and the community, and really everybody.
And there's a subdivision right there. What's the name of that subdivision?
Right straight across from where I live, it's Misty Morning.
Yeah, Misty Morning.
Yes, sir. Good people, and, you know, and I told them I'd come up here, maybe speak for them a little bit, you know.
Well, think about it, if it's 40, people gonna do 45 or 50.
Well, yeah.
They're gonna go about five, at least 5 over.
And that's too fast.
But that it is. Yeah, I drove that road not a lot, but a few times. I know where you're talking about, so, yeah.
I mean, it's a good area, and the road is a pretty good road, but for that type of speed, it's a little bit narrow.
Did we have this on that road before?
Yeah, we had something years ago. I
Yeah.
can't remember what
I can't
happened.
remember what it was
Yeah, I was
either.
the one that came up here and requested that, and you
Yeah.
all done a good job. You
Well,
all-
they'll do a traffic study. The way VDOT would do that, they won't just go and do it arbitrarily. They will do a traffic study and maybe we can get additional law enforcement too, because you know, if it's 40, they're gonna do more than 40. I'm guilty too. Sometimes if it's 55,
Well,
I might do 58.
Yeah, we all do that. I'm no different than nobody else.
Yeah.
But maybe if the Board of Supervisors could step a little bit ahead of VDOT, and I don't even know how often they do their traffic study. It might be once every 2 years, every 10 years.
They did it at our request, I think, they wouldn't agree to, but they not do that, Sally, if we request them to do that.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah, so let's do that, but you might want to come back in December, and the VDOT people will be here.
November.
Or November, sorry, next month, they'll be here, and so come and let them hear this too, and, but we can do that, request a traffic study, and then maybe get additional law enforcement. You got the sheriff here now, maybe they could patrol a little bit more, whatever, to help slow
It's a
down.
little concerning sometimes. That's like, a lot of times there's no traffic light put up at an intersection until somebody gets hurt or killed. But you know, there's no saying the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
All right, well, do appreciate you coming.
Well, I
Something else you
appreciate
had?
it. And, do you think VDOT will be here next month?
They will do.
Okay.
It's a quarterly thing, and they've never failed yet, but they'll be here.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Thank everyone.
Appreciate you coming. All right. Anyone else wishing to speak? If not, we'll come out of citizen expression and talk about Mr. Landis' request for $250. You're all stops.
I don't remember ever doing that as far as insurance goes, but I just wondered, Marshall, could your group help them out some? I mean, since it's for veterans, just with the insurance, $250.
Yeah. I don't know. We'd have to, we just had our meeting, so.
When is that? Is it around Veterans Day? That one's Veterans Day. Veterans Day.
I don't know, we'll have to bring it up at our meeting. Okay. And that's the latter part of this month.
So it'll be before the date is needed. Y'all meet before they need it?
The fourth Tuesday of this month.
Okay.
That's when we meet.
Okay. All right, anything else you're on that?
What is that group, Marshall?
What is that group,
Which-
she said?
The group that you meet with,
I'm with the American Legion.
American Legion.
He's president,
I'm the commander.
commander.
Insurance.
We did for the fire departments, I think, once. Yeah, for fireworks or something.
Rivers.
Whoever said, yeah.
Last year on one.
But
You wouldn't have to say it's necessarily for the insurance, you just would donate $250, they could use it.
this is the first time y'all have done this?
No, someone else maintained it, and through COVID, they had stopped it. This is the first year that they're starting it back up. Mr. Andrew Davis is the one that's doing all the organizing for it there. I'm just here representing this morning because he couldn't be here.
They used to have it at the Fairview Community Center.
Mm-hmm.
But I probably went to the last one I guess they had before COVID.
I think we should do it.
I think so too.
Well, I entertain a motion if you want to.
I'll make a motion.
$250. And where would it come from? Out of the contingency?
I'll make the motion that we fund it for $250.
All right, Ms. Hackett made a motion for the $250 come out of a contingency fund. Do we have a second?
I'll second it, Mr. Chairman.
All right, Ms. Hood, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote saying aye. Aye. Opposed? That's a done deal.
Appreciate it, y'all.
You're welcome. All right. That's it. I guess the water stuff, I think we discussed that enough about what Mr. Bledsoe brought up. Do we need any other discussion, any more discussion on that? And then Peggy was here. Anything else on it before we move on?
I'm trying to put her in a work order.
Okay. Is it working?
My VDOT, something happened with my login. I don't know, but I'm trying to work through
All
it.
right.
I'm trying to do that.
And then Mr. Phelan being here for the speed thing. I guess we discussed that enough, unless somebody has something else they want to add. All right, next item is item 7, the 2023 VACO, which is the Virginia Association of Counties Annual Business Meeting. Need voting credentials for the couple that's going. Do we have any discussion on that? Ms. Starnes, you want to?
The paperwork is on your tablet. Mike and Stephanie will be attending, so one of them will need to be or have your authorization for your voting credentials, and then the next one would be an alternate. So just whoever you decide will get that filled out and sent in to VACO.
And what that is, the last day of the meeting, they'll have a business meeting, and you have the authority to vote there when you're authorized here to be the representative and the alternate. But that's all it is. The last day of the meeting, they'll have that business meeting. It lasts about, I don't know, an hour or so is all it lasts. So anyway, Stephanie's pointing toward Mr. Bricky as having the credentials. So you're okay with that?
I'm fine with it.
And it would be the alternate.
I'll be the alternate.
Okay, so we need a motion to do so.
So moved, Mr. Chairman. All right, I'll second.
All right, Mr. Jeter made a motion, Mr. Tippin second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. All right, next item is the Housing Authority request, the salary increase for the board members. We talked about that a little bit last week when we met with Ms. Starnes, and what Ms. Starnes thought the cost would be.
The Housing Authority has requested that their monthly stipend for their members to attend their meetings be increased from $25 per month to $50 per month. Some background on this was in fiscal year 15, there was a motion made that all compensation for boards and authorities be reduced in half, and they are requesting this to be put back to $50 per month. That would be an increase of $1,500 per year just for the Housing Authority. We have several other boards that you might want to consider as well. If you're going to move one, maybe moving them all. I'm estimating that probably about $4,000 additional a year for all the boards that receive the $25 per month stipend.
All righty. And I think it should be personal. I'm just one vote, but I would think that this is a good idea. Folks doing that, a little bit of something to help pay the expenses to come to those meetings. Those people that are doing that, I admire them doing it. They volunteer for the most part to be that, help them out with their gas and stuff, as expensive as it is got. So anyway, we entertain a motion to do that. Do we have a motion to increase that? And I would say go with all of them with the 4,000. Where would that come from, Ms. Starnes, if we do?
Just out of the regular budget line items, and then when we amend the budget, maybe in December, if we get everything ready for the school, then we'll increase that line item.
Okay.
But right now, we have the funds there to continue until the budget's amended.
Okay. All right, we entertain a motion to do for all of them, be approximately $4,000 to do that for a stipend for those people serving on those boards. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
All right.
Maybe specify that you're doing $50 a month.
Okay, all right. And that from $25 to $50 a month. So with that, Ms. Hood made a motion. Ms. Atkins, you second?
Yes.
Okay. Any discussion?
Was they all cut
to 25.
They were, yes.
And some cut totally out.
Yeah, there were some completely taken out. So to go back to what it was in 2015, which $50 is not a lot to, you drive very far, it's not very much to compensate, for that. All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So motion carried, so we'll get that done. Next item is to ratify a letter of support for the Friends of Southwest Virginia Stars.
That's on your tablet as well. I reached out about the Friends of Southwest Virginia requesting a letter of support for a grant that they were applying for. And I heard from the majority of you, so we just need to ratify that letter. It has been sent.
Okay. All right, we need a motion to follow through on that and to allow the support for this letter. Do we have a motion? Mr. Tipton made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Bricky, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next item is item 10, the refund for the erosion sediment control permit. It's just refund that needs to happen, Ms. Starnes, if you would, and I know what it is. I'll let you.
That's on your tablet as well. It was $75 for a permit that the project did not occur, so they've requested a refund.
Okay. So we have a request to refund this money when the project didn't happen, $75. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Jeter made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Tipton, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next item, we discussed some 2, the consideration of a new position for a diesel mechanic. And Bill, you want to come up and we've heard from you already on this, but that way the people know what we're doing
here. As I discussed with each of you separately, one of the biggest issues we have in our solid waste operations is keeping the trucks running. And those costs of keeping the trucks running has increased in the last couple of years, like everything else. Toward last year, we were over our budgeted amount for maintenance on those trucks by $120,000. Much of that was taken at the shops over in Kingsport that could do that work, and almost being hand-tied that we had to get it fixed there. So the thought process, and we've talked about this before, and this is a position that we've talked about and we should have for many years now, is the diesel mechanic that can do preventative maintenance and routine maintenance and major repairs on these trucks in-house, keeping them more with our in-house where we have them there. Not only the time it takes to do a repair, but there's been many times that we've had to take it to a shop and they won't get to it for a month. So our truck is sitting there for a month. And the trucks are essential for our operation. I had a discussion with somebody the other day about the Mickelsville site, and he asked me, do you all pick this site up every week? And I said, sir, we pick it up every day, 6 days a week. And there's 14 of them throughout the county. So we have a truck that goes down one day. The trash bins are full that evening if we're not able to service the site. So having those trucks running is essential for the operation that we have in place. I presented y'all with the document on the case for a new mechanic. Ms. Starnes has with her a job description for that position. Two thought processes came about when we were discussing the position. One was an additional stipend on a truck driver that we have that has the capability to do this kind of work, the skill set to do this kind of work, where he stays being a truck driver but does this as well. that would save us from having to replace that truck driver with that position. However, there was a concern that that'd be too much on one person as far as being able to do the work. I've talked to the staff up there, and there is something to do mechanically every day. So, you know, what do you do when he would come in to work that morning? Is he driving a truck or is he working on trucks? So, and that was a concern with many of you that I spoke with. The other option is a new position, a diesel mechanic that would be dedicated to running the shop, the truck shop up there, doing those maintenance and repairs that I mentioned, managing the warranties, making sure that what work needs to be done is covered by warranty if it's available, tire management, and a whole array of things that would be beneficial to our operation.
The thing about this position, you know, the guy that can do this kind of work, and it's high dollar. I mean, hard out, it's expensive, many dollars per hour once you do that. And so anyway, I mean, you know, sounds like this would be the way to go. We talked about, you know, doing it as a supplement in pay to do this, and you know, the options we have. So anyway, I'll leave it up to you all to discuss here what you want to do and how you want to handle this. Any thoughts?
Bill, I appreciate you can tell all the work and thought you put into this. I really appreciate that. And when I first read it, as much problem as we have with the diesel and probably hydraulics on those trucks, and the number of trucks we have, I think the full-time would be the best way to go. And with the money that you said we'd gone over the budget, $120,000, that'll take care of a salary. Twice, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd say, you know, we go ahead and that'd just be my suggestion. We go ahead and hire this person.
And Bill, if you would, I know it happened, just fixing that end loader, the transmission, was it $30,000 or something? Normally, that would have been a lot less than that, but because everything's gone through the roof.
$30,000, and since this particular person came on as a truck driver, he's been doing a lot of this work. But you know, we've talked about this. It's not right to hire somebody as a truck driver and ask him to do mechanical work. But since he's been on board, we have had a lot less issues with the trucks, including one repair that we were able to do for under $4,000 that we got an estimate for that was $11,000. So you know, that's just one repair. You know, as we go along this year, I'm going to ask him to get those estimates for every major repair. If it was something that we would have to take to the shop to get that estimate compared to what we actually had to spend on it. And my guess, at the end of the year, you're going to see that this more than paid for itself.
One other thing to think about, and correct me if I'm wrong, but our HVAC person, he has been pulled away from his job to work on the trucks at times.
Quite a bit, Mr. Bricky.
So that'll relieve him, because he has over 100 HVAC.
How many does he have? 120?
140 to 160.
Wow.
HVAC units that he has to maintain, and you know, just keeping the filters changed is a task every month. But a lot of days he is working on those trucks,
right.
And this would keep him from having to do that.
We're kind of killing two birds with one stone with if we hire a full-time diesel mechanic, maybe.
And Bill, if my memory serves me correctly, we had a truck driving job there we eliminated one time too. So that's been a few years ago, but we actually did that. So we'll be back where we were as far as the number of people, and so we'll eliminate that job. And so anyway, that will go back to where we once were as far as the number of people. I thought I was correct on that. All right. I'm for it too, but anyway, leave it to the board here. You all decide what we need to do and what you want to do, and how you want to word your motion if you want to do that. And again, we'll this to be, this increase, as, you know, do it as a supplement, or do we, how do you know?
Just a real quick question, Bill. I mean, you have, I know to operate mechanic and supplies, you gotta have tools. So they have a setup of tools that, or you have to.
We have a truck shop with a number of tools. And I spoke with the candidate as well. And there will be specialized tools that come about throughout the year, or the years, that we'll purchase. I'm not asking to go out and buy everything that we'd have to have. I did purchase a computer system and laptop where he can read the codes and reset. And I don't know if you know about DEF, you have to regen a truck, and he's been able to do that with that computer system. So as we go along, there'll be tools, but it won't be a, you know, I'm not asking for $100,000 to buy tools.
Did you used to have a mechanic before? Did you used to have a mechanic before?
No, we've not had a mechanic.
Well, let me bring up one more thing that might happen. I think I heard that if we have a full-time mechanic, our county fleet, not sheriff's office or anybody else, but our county fleet can be serviced and worked on there.
Sure. The public works vehicles, I put that in the job description, but then we have a number of pool vehicles that we could service, like oil changes and things like that. I'm not sure about if we have a transmission or you know, something like that, but
That's specialized.
yeah.
But those go outside right now to another person, so we can tell them out in-house. I think it's going to be a big savings.
Be a win.
And I wouldn't mind to go ahead and make a motion that we approve the hiring of a full-time mechanic.
And I'll second that motion.
Do we need to word that any different than that, to work where the money will come from? When was it going to affect? Immediately?
Yeah, I mean, maybe say October, whatever Monday is.
Make it retroactive to October the 1st of this month. I mean, I'd be okay with that. And do it as a supplement, so what we're talking about doing as
No, full-time.
full-time. Okay. We talked about that in our two-person meeting we had, and so it'd be a full-time position on it.
I think you'd adopt a new job description
Okay.
as a new position.
Do we need to do that first and then allow it to happen, or can we do it all
I
in
think
one?
you can do it all together.
So you have that job description in front of you and show what it would be. So we'll adopt that along with the motion to hire a full-time mechanic. So do you want to?
I'll amend my motion to add the job description of the diesel truck mechanic.
That'll work.
Yes.
All right. We have a motion to second it.
I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Atkins, second. All right, any other discussion?
So that's gonna be effective October 1?
I think it should be retroactive to October
agree.
1st. He's probably doing the work as we speak.
Right, yeah.
So, does the pay periods go from October 1st to the 1st of the month, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yes.
that'll be easier on payroll to do that, go back and make it, effective. All right, we had a motion second, all in favor, vote saying aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? I'm glad that was unanimous, and so, but you have, like Mr. Ricky said, done a good job with this. In our discussion, we had a two-person discussion with it before even this meeting, and so I'm glad that we're doing it. I think it's a good move.
Thank you, board.
Thank you. All right, next item is the county attorney items. Ms. Kay, do you have anything for us?
I wanted to ask your all's authority to advertise a public hearing to update the transient occupancy tax ordinance. It is old, 87 or so, 85. This when we adopted it, and it's not, we've not had any reason to update it, but now there's some changes in the code that it needs to be modernized a little bit, so if we could have that public hearing in November.
What is that?
Transient occupancy tax, 2% when people stay in the county at bed and breakfasts and other places that they pay.
Okay.
The commissioner keeps up with that, and that tax goes to the treasurer.
authorize Ms. Cagley to do this public hearing. She will have it in the paper to advertise, so, do we have a motion to do so?
I'll make the motion.
All right, Ms. Hood made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Tippin, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carried. Thank you. Anything else?
No, that's all, thank you.
Thank you. Next item is the county administrator items, the claims. Ms. Starnes.
The general fund balance after the October claims is $4,741,746.43. We are above where we were this time the last 2 years. As far as claims, you have a summary sheet. Total claims for the month will be $699,214.56. We had early sets for the month totaling $221,481.53. And this time you've got 2 pages of over $5,000. A lot of this is where you gave the volunteer fire departments an additional $12,000 in this budget year from ARPA funding. So that's 7 departments at $12,000. Those are on the list. Nicholsville Rescue Squad got $10,000 for payroll. Some other larger ones. Vacor Insurance was $42,203.50. Waste Management to haul the trash this month was $49,722.89. Scott County Life Saving Crew, $20,000. Appalachian Juvenile Commission, their quarterly payment was $68,750. And then Scott County Health Department quarterly payment was $63,989.25. Planning District 1, $38,872.38. So a lot of the quarterly payments came out this time, as well as some fire department contributions. So just need approval to pay the claims for the month, totaling $699,214.56.
So, I'll make it.
Right. The town of Gate City, there on that first page, $7,479.67. You know what that was for? Blindsided you then.
August, LSAL. No, I'm not sure.
Okay. All right.
I will find out for you and let you know.
I'm just curious, that's okay. Don't, I'm just thinking on that. I'm sure I've been there before. I just have to say that. All right. Did you make a motion, Mr. Tipton?
I did.
Okay. Mr. Tipton made a motion to pay the bills. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Jeter, second. Just a second here. Any discussion? All in favor, vote saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. So we are, if you look at that bar graph, we're better we've been in a while as far as our general fund, what's left in there right now. So I'm sure taxes are coming in too, people are paying them, and so it's coming up. So, all right, anything else?
I just have a couple of things under miscellaneous. I just wanted to mention a couple of things regarding the Lonesome Pine Regional Industrial Facilities Authority that myself and Mr. Kilgore are members of. Of course, this is a regional group for economic development that also includes the counties of Lee, Scott, Wise, Dickinson, and the city of Norton. There's a project we have called Project Thoroughbred. We had an announcement in August for $2.5 million from Abandoned Mine Land Economic Revitalization. The project will reclaim a historic coal loading facility and turn it into a grain processing, storage, and distribution terminal. The specialty grains that will be at the terminal will be used in the craft beverage market, and the project is located in Norton. And then Project Intersection is a large project that we're involved with. If you are traveling on 23 toward Wise, you'll see the Earthlink building is now under construction over on the right. That whole property there is Project Intersection. The Earthlink building, like I said, is under construction. It's going to be a 28,000 square foot building and should be completed in the spring of 2024. Earthlink will employ 285 people. Project Intersection is a total of 200 acres, and it's being marketed as commercial and light industrial sites. There are 3 other site paths that are almost complete. The road and curb and gutter is complete. All sites have electrical, water, sewer, natural gas, and broadband available. So that's RIFA projects that have been announced and are doing very well. We are in revenue sharing with these projects, so once these get going, and especially Project Intersection with these other sites, when industries come in, Scott County will benefit from those as revenue sharing projects. And I also just wanted to make mention that the Regional Improvement Commission has divided the casino proceeds for the first year, and our check totaled $625,470, and that has been received and deposited. And of course, you did budget how you wanted those funds spent in the budget process. So I just wanted to make note of a couple of things to bring up this morning about the regional projects that we are involved with.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Good news. Very good. That casino money, back in the day, I talked to when Senator Carrico was there, that once they get up and going over there and get the hotels built and all of that, which we won't take any part of that, but it'll be maybe approaching $1 million a year from it. So that's hopefully, as they get bigger, that the county will reap more from that. So anyway, that's part of the regional approach to things. I mean, it may be like this Project Intersection. If you've been by that intersection over there at Norton, it's a 58 and 23 comes together. It's going to be a big deal. It'll help us too. It will. All right. Anything else?
That's all I have.
Nothing need to vote on.
Could I ask one question and make one comment?
Yes.
Regional projects are very important to us. We talked about that before. And if I'm out of line asking this question at this time, I apologize, Frida, but the 2% raise for teachers, we've not heard much about that yet, have we?
We haven't, and the Department of Education's website has not been updated with this new amendment. And I talked to Mr. Ferguson last week, and he doesn't have the details either. He just has, like an overview, but he's been watching the DOE side as well, but at this time that's not been updated. And I actually checked this morning, and it's not there yet.
Will that go into effect the first of the year?
Theirs is January, yes.
January.
Constitutional officers also get 2%, and theirs is in December, but school staff is January 1st.
Okay, Lana hadn't heard anything through DSS either, so I was just curious about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure when theirs will probably be December too, I would think. Yeah.
The thing about that is, I mean, they decide that at the state, but the localities end up paying a lot of it. So anyway, they decide there for us, but you got to do it. So anyway.
Right. Yeah, that's why we'll probably, if we get all the DOE information in, we'll look at amending the budget in December if everything lines up and they get all that posted before we'll know what our numbers are. Because the school system will have to amend their budget, we have to amend ours, and that's what we'll put this position and that $4,000 for the boards and commissions fees in the new budget.
All these extra things we're getting thrown in, that's where these regional projects that you just mentioned will be more and more important in the future. Getting for us to be able to look at taxes a little bit better.
Yeah. It may come from Richmond, but the localities end up carrying most of the burden.
That's right.
Anyway. All right. Anything else before we have Mr. Francis? Did you have anything else, Sally? I meant to ask you, was that all you had for us?
You did ask me.
Okay, I want to make sure I got everything. I had something else. All right. Don't want to leave you out. All right. The next item is a report from our recreation. Mr. Francis here, so if you would. We do have one item for closed session, so we're not through when he finishes. One item for closed session.
Good morning, good to see everybody. Y'all moving quick. I barely got in here.
Yeah, you're all right.
I was watching live. I was like, oh man, they're moving fast. Which mine will be short and sweet as well. I know I saw you all in July and had a lot of info for you there, so it was kind of a quick turnaround. And I apologize in advance, my allergies. I noticed with you all, I didn't have any in the spring. This fall, everybody, it's like right now.
Yes.
Agreed.
Spring and summer was nothing, so if I'm sniffing and coughing, I apologize. But
I used to have allergies, after my transplant.
Yeah.
I don't have any, but I would never recommend that.
right, that's the way to
Recommended
correct it.
transplant.
Yeah.
You know, it's like me, I had COVID and my breathing was better after COVID.
Well, I mean, my
I know it was
spring,
crazy.
it was nothing in spring, and right now it just started. I don't know. So.
Before Derek gets started, let me let you know what that payment was on your claims.
Okay.
That is a check that the treasurer used to pay, but now where we have Munis, we're doing all checks.
All right.
That was the local sales tax split that we received from Virginia.
Okay.
So that was just sending that out
All
to
right.
the town. So that's what that was.
All right, thank you, man.
I'll get started, and all I'd like to say about Keith Memorial Park, Duffield Community Park. Over the years, those have both been upgraded, improved, especially Duffield Community Park this past year. Still got some stuff there, but we made a big jump there in getting it where it needs to be, so it's in really good shape. I'll hop down on the rec side. As you can see on the screen, I want to talk about my Otis Roten State Farm Youth Volleyball. Another great turnout, about 120 kids in it. That's about what 120 to 150 is kind of our number. That's been going on forever. It's a great league. And I'll go through and show you some pictures of the kids playing. Don't make fun of my camera. I need to upgrade my camera. I've got, every time I have somebody helping me, they're always looking at my camera like, what's this? Of course, it's younger kids that probably have never used a camera. They're used to phone cameras, so sometimes I hand them the camera, like, what is this? I'm like, I'm not that old, but I guess I am. I guess that means I am that old.
Yeah, we are.
But I do want to mention, so we do this, and this is a Saturday at Rock Cove High School, and I want to thank my coaches. That's a lot of it. I have some great coaches. I have some coaches that have been doing it for many, many years. I have some coaches that did it for their child, and now they're coaching their grandchild. And I have some coaches that played in my league, and now they're coaching. So it's a cyclical thing, and we have some great coaches. That really makes the league. But I want to talk about, so right there you see, that's a pretty full, bleachers. So the schools host me for practices and for the games, obviously. And I do want to thank them, and kind of as a way to show them my thanks. Like that Saturday at Rye Cove, the Rye Cove High School volleyball team, they worked the gate, they did the concessions, so they keep that money. It's about $400 to $500 every Saturday, so that does kind of help them while they're helping me. So every time we're at a school, we let either a group or a sports team or a academic team. There's been all kinds of teams that have done that. It's a little bit of a long day for them, but it's made for their programs. So there's the little ones. Let's see. This is, I'll go back. That's my 5th through 7th grade group, and then you'll go down here. When I say the little ones, that's my 2nd through 4th grade group. And believe it or not, they play some volleyball. First week's always a lot of serves. Everybody's like, oh gosh. And then by the end of the year, they're volleying quite a bit. People get pretty excited here. It tickles us. There's at Gate City High School, so
That's good.
we bounce around different schools. We've even used some churches before, Weber City Baptist Church. They've been great to work with for practices and games. So I always like to get them great sportsmanship. Volleyball's pretty calm. I love it. It's a fun season for us. I believe that's all the pictures I got though. So. That's just some pictures. Actually, those pictures look a little bit better on that screen than I thought they would. Well, my camera doesn't look that good. But that's all I've really got on the rec side. Down here on the golf course side, I know I brought a lot of information to y'all back in, I think it was July when I was before you. This will be not very much information, but it's all good information. I know I talked and said last year was our highest revenue year since 2011, so that was great, Well, just starting off this year, July, August, September, we are at it's crazy, 63% increase over last year. Our July, August, September was probably busier than any time I can ever remember being there. Brad's been there longer than me, and he says he's never seen it that busy. I know he worked one Saturday, just a normal Saturday, not a tournament. And he was out of golf carts by 10 a.m. And he said that's never happened before. I mean, he had people waiting. And that happens a lot. That Saturday was crazy. He said 10 a.m. I was out. I was done. The course was full. So it's staying now. Of course, now September with football season, it's doing its normal trickle down, but our numbers are just, I think in September, I might be off a little bit, by September 9th, we had already done more than we did the whole last year in September, the whole month. So it's just staying, the golf's staying hot. Of course, it's going to trickle down just by weather, but it's, you know, those 3 months were insane. That July when I saw it, it was crazy. So we got a good thing going there. I know, Mr. Drew, you've asked before about memberships. I finally, after like many years, have that nailed down. I was waiting till it was good news. No, we used to hover around 20-25 members. Now, a long time ago in the 90s, you know, they got to like 100-120 members when golf was really hot. Right now we're about 50 plus. So
Good.
And a lot of new. Those 20-25 have been the ones who have been there forever. We've got a lot of new, a lot of people from, you know, even out of town, a lot of people that have just started playing golf, a lot of young people. It's been a big shift there, a big change. So we're over 50 members now. So the rental room, I know I talk about it, but I just looked before I came, and every Saturday and Sunday in October, November is already booked for the rental room. And then there's actually some weekdays too in there, but it's staying packed. I think people finally found that's a relatively inexpensive option to not mess up your house for parties and stuff. And that's what a lot of people use it for. You know, hey, you've got plenty of parking, and you're not, you know, having people run through your house. So I think people have actually, I think it's finally out that, hey, that's a good place to have
It
stuff.
is a spectacular view.
Yes, great view. If you go in the fall, which fall is my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Oh gosh, fall is, I probably even take it for granted looking out of that every day, but fall's definitely my favorite time of there. But that room, it's crazy. It's staying booked. So, and lastly, I know I showed you all pictures of the seating project I did with Scott Gerald and how successful it was, and it was really a good investment. The money to result ratio was great. So we plan to work with him again and do that again this year. Hit some spots we didn't hit, do it a little different direction. Still use the same seat because it terminated and did great. But so really just trying to keep that momentum and keep that course looking great the more people come. So good news. I mean, I know it's short and sweet, but the revenue thing was crazy. I think last year the same time, I want to say it was about 25 or 26,000. This year it's 40,000, so that's a pretty big jump. Our July almost took care of it almost by itself. I think it was in 16 or 17,000 July. I'd have to look. It was wild. I mean, we were just packed, so it's going, got a good thing going there. So
Sounds like you may have the potential where you can get into, you know, if you have increase each year, you know, and that'd be a great thing.
Oh gosh, well, every time I come, I'm like, man, we're doing these increases. I'm like, man, it's going to taper off, but it's kind of this. I mean, it's been a great start for this fiscal year. I know that. So, and I think I talked to you all about a lot of that was a lot of courses that I think had gotten greedy and really raised their prices. I think we can definitely look at going up for various reasons on the golf cart, just $1, and wouldn't cause an issue. It's probably needed to go up $1, but that's something we can address before next what I call golf season, as the golf season ends right now. So,
Have you had a chance to work on the deck quotes?
I have not. No, I've got that on my calendar. I think it's for Monday. I think, but I've not looked at that yet. And you did want me to get both, right? Wood and the composite. So, yeah, that deck. We've tried to do small repairs from small repairs, and I think we're at the point now where it's been long enough. We may have to go the whole thing. So,
You know, something, which the view up there, there's nothing else like it. I mean, it's amazing. I don't know, and I've always thought about, you know, doing this, but it's not happened. But to have some kind of a small convention center up there, I always thought it would be great to have something bigger than we've got. And the use of, like you said, you're booked up now through, you know, that period of time to rent it. But I think that's something a little bit bigger, a little bit nicer, and you could have even some bigger events there. And with the golf course tied in, even Meadowview, I mean, they got their convention center tied into the golf course, you know, so people will come to play, and then if you have something there, that's just an incentive to, you know, make it even bigger than what it is.
Yeah. We are kind of limited in space. We'd have to probably go vertical than that. You know, we are limited on space. But people have had all kinds of stuff there. Like, they've had some like little consignment shop sales. They've had, you know, birthday parties, of course, weddings. I mean, you name it, it's been up there, you know, bands, parties, musicians have performed up there, so, local musicians, but, yeah, there's been about anything you can imagine up there, so people decorate it too, that's what I like to see, some people decorate it, I mean, it's insane how it looks beautiful when they do it, so they really put a lot of time and effort into it, so.
Slightly before you came on board, I think, the Town of Gate City wanted to put a water tank up there, and it was a good deal for everybody, but the way that was purchased in 1978, it was through a grant, and forever it has to be used for something recreation, and so.
Yes.
And so anyway, we wasn't even allowed to change that much, a half acre or something.
It was a half, yeah.
Yeah. Was you there then? Or was
Yes,
it?
I was. That was. It was looking like, you know, good news for everybody, but then they were like, I mean, they got involved and I get it from the state of, you know, from the state conservation and recreation department, and it was very. I mean, you know, if
They did a good deal for everybody.
Yeah.
But the way it was purchased through that grant, you couldn't do it.
It's very heavily protected, yeah, for outdoor recreation. So.
All right.
And I appreciate all y'all. Thank you.
Anyone, any questions?
Good job.
Thank you. No, thank you.
All right. Anything else before we go into comments? Mr. Jeter, have anything?
Yes, I've got one thing that's been brought up to me, and it's the Treasury office. They're working from 8:30 to 4:30, and then they close for dinner. And during this tax season, I think that's putting a pinch on people coming and paying their taxes. In other words, they're just open 7 hours a day, and they're closed for dinner. During tax season, that kind of makes it rough for people paying their taxes, and when it gets down close to tax season, they'll be lined plumb to the parking lot again, I guess. I just wanted to mention that. I don't know what we can do about it, or maybe mention.
Probably nothing. It'd be up to the treasurer to make any changes like that.
Well, they mentioned Mitzi that she should stay open during dinner and at least work 8 hours a day during tax season.
And they sent notices out early to have that money, you know, revenue coming in. I mean, that makes sense to me too.
That's all I got. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Tipton.
I'm good. I appreciate the staff and all of you and being able to serve with you and just being able to be here today after
what you went through last night.
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Herron's not here, so the public will know he has accepted a job in his teaching. He's not here because he wants to be, but anyway, it's taken him away. He'll still be on the board until December 31st, but anyway, that's why he is not here to speak up for him. Mr. Brick, you have anything?
I wanted to mention that this Saturday, October the 6th, Man Farm up in Fort Blackmore is going to donate all their profits, all their proceeds to social services, Department of Social Services, to go toward the foster program. Also to the Hope House and to the school at Fort Blackmore. It's going to be divided between 3 different places. So right now they've got their apples, potatoes, all their vegetables, everything on Saturday will go to those groups. So that's great. So
That's amazing.
Try to get out and get you some stuff. If you see Hootie, if you see David Mann or Judy, either one, they're the ones doing it. So brag on them. That's great for them.
Yeah, I saw that on their Facebook post on their they're doing that, and I'm glad you mentioned it because it needs to be known. People will watch this and know to go and buy something. All the profits from that will go to those 3 entities.
And I'd rather eat their streaking meat than bacon. That stuff is great. And they sell it in big slabs, so I may go get me one of them.
I may have to go by and get some.
It is good.
Don't tell your heart doctor that.
All right. Anything else? Anything else?
That's all for me.
All right. That's it.
I don't have anything.
All right. Ms. Atkins?
I'll go off of what Darrell said, and I just encourage the public that's watching to contact the treasurer's office, because this board cannot dictate the hours that that the treasurer's office is open. So I'd encourage you as citizens to call and request her to extend her hours during this tax season. Because I agree, 7 hours a day is not reasonable, in my opinion, during tax season.
Okay.
but thank the staff for all they do, and I appreciate everybody, and
All right.
did a good job.
The only thing I have, myself and Mr. Bricky and Mr. Tippin is on the Leno Wisco board, and so ARC money has come available to the other counties, and Scott County doesn't get any. And the reason being, and I don't know, that we're not distressed, which is a good thing, you know. And they send our connections to where we're close to Kingsport, the people, their salaries and stuff, all that they look at all of that, and you become distressed. There's only 4 or 5 counties that are, and we're not one of them. Part of the county is distressed, but it has to, you know, either the whole county is or the whole county is not, and we're not, which is a good thing, but still, it was $700,000 went to some projects in Lee County, $700,000 to Wise County, and the ARC, which Appalachian Regional Commission, decides that, and so I'd like to see the money come. I'm glad we're not distressed. I am. We're blessed that we're not. But anyway, I just, you know, we're trying to figure some way. They sent the explanation to us why we're not, and so it's kind of a good thing for the most part. But then, as far as those federal dollars, we're not getting because we're not distressed. Like I said, it's good and bad, but I guess for the most part it's good. But anyway, it costs us money, grant money we do not get because of it. So anyway, I just wanted to make mention of that. I don't know if anything can be said about it or not, but people need to know. If Wise County gets something, or Lee County gets it, or Dixon County, Buchanan County, well, that's the counties that are distressed, I think, that consider distressed. And so anyway, it's good and bad, I guess, but for the most part, you know, we do not qualify because of the fact that we're not distressed. All right, we do have one item of closed session. So I need a motion to go. Y'all take a break first, and then
Yes, please.
we'll do this, and then we'll take a break between this and closed session. All right, we need a motion to go into closed session.
So much.
Second by somebody.
I'll second.
Mr. Ricky, second. This board hereby enters into closed session pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711, being 8.5 being prospective industry, and it's for the northeastern part of the county. And so we need to vote. We have the motion. All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed. So we will close this part of the meeting, and we'll go into closed session here in about 5 or 10 minutes.